Ogari Nasai Minasan. Today we're gonna talk about Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger episode 12 before watching Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger episode 12. Let us start off with the trailer. Let's go! Jeremy Brasi. Okay. I would say this next episode is gonna be kind of like an introduction episode of who this Jeremy guy actually is, and he is indeed the narrator of the story itself. But I felt like him being the narrator of the story, but at the same time being one of the king and one of the character of the show, it will actually create quite a lot of interesting dynamic to the story itself. Like, he is definitely not gonna die, because like, in a sense, if you really think about it, I felt like this story of Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger is kind of like a story that we are telling our grandchildren like what happened in the past, something like that. So we could actually see that this guy would actually survive the entirety of the Sentai, and I don't think there's quite a lot of death in Sentai. So I think most of you already know this, but I am not kind of like a big Sentai fan throughout my entire career or my entire life. But most of the series that I watch are Kamen Rider, so I am not really sure what to really expect from Ohsama Sentai here. But so far, I am quite enjoying the art style. Not the art style, the CG, the suits, the entire vibe that the show is actually giving me. But the plot is one thing that is actually throwing me off a little bit, if I were to be honest. So I'm really excited to see what this new character is gonna bring to the table. And let me know also in the comment section below, do you think that it is actually way too fast for them to introduce another ranger to the show itself? Because we got Rackless, who actually henshin once in the series, and then next we immediately got introduced to another rider, and this it really felt like something that happened in Kamen Rider Revised as well. Like, we actually got the introduction of Val, and then out of nowhere we got so many other random rider that actually came out of nowhere. But with that being said, I just want to jump into the trailer so that we can actually figure it out scene by scene what we can expect from the trailer, from the next episode itself. Okay, so first thing we get to see is this Jeremy guy. We get to see a little bit of close-up on his hand, and I felt like this is done intentionally to kind of like show off his accessory to the rest of the world, because I felt like this is something, his glove, it looks almost kind of like a spider web, but actually it also looks very similar to a skeleton looking thing. So this is really artistic, and I really love the design here. Like, giving him gold kind of, I'm not sure what to actually call it, bracelet or bracelet, but it looks really amazing. This is to show that he is one thing that we know about Jeremy so far is that he is 1,000-year-old, and he still looks young. So how is he still alive, and how did he actually survive for so long? Okay, is he even human, or he is not actually human? Like, who the hell actually is Jeremy itself? Because in order for him to trick the Bugnarak for 1,000 years, like telling them stories and stories about like how when the greater guardian deity reaches the sky, there is something that is gonna turn the world upside down, is gonna happen, something like that. So we are definitely kind of like seeing this guy as a really Joker card to the story. Like, we are not sure what to expect, but I like I said, I'm excited. Let me move on to the next thing before I kind of like ramble on and on again with a similar point. So we got a close-up of his face, and if we actually take a look at the earring that he's actually wearing, one-sided earring, it actually looks very similar to kind of like a Hyro design, something like that. It almost looks like kind of like a dream catcher in a sense, but it also reminds me a lot of kind of like more Indian looking accessory. But correct me if I'm wrong, but that is the vibe that I'm actually getting here from the earring itself. But let me move on to the next thing. Is we actually get to see all the kings are actually surrounding Jeremy once again, and I felt like the reason why we actually get to see him getting surrounded is like he purposefully allowed them to surround him, so that in a sense, like he if he wants to be king and doesn't want to go to war with the rest of the kingdom, he would definitely need to make peace with the rest of the king as well. And I felt like this is him doing that, okay, to show to the rest of the Sentai that he can be trusted, something like that. And next we get to see Jeremy getting captured, and then we get to see Gira wearing this really weird funky looking thing in Nogosopa, and next we get to see Jeremy also wearing a similar item. And I felt like this is to kind of like test his wavelength, or maybe this is kind of like a lying detector, something like that. So this is quite interesting. Okay, so after Nogosopa, this guy is gonna move to, I don't know, like move to all of the country. We get to see him being captured and sent in front of our girl Himeno here. So I'm not sure, okay, I'm not sure what is to come, but we know by the end of this trailer that he is indeed gonna be henshin into the spider Komonos and fight against Desunara itself. And I felt like when we saw this scene, like of all this article, all this image and all these sightings of this spider Komonos guy, that this is definitely Rita doing her research, because one thing we know like about Rita is that she's definitely gonna go do her research, and she will use facts and information that she can gather to make a decision before doing anything else. That is Rita. For her is the supreme judge, something like that. So yeah, this is really interesting. But hey, and we also get to see a lot of close-up of this guy, okay, like a glove and mask, and we also get to see some really funky like pig looking thing like here. So we are not sure what is that, but definitely really interesting. Like, how do they actually got all this information regarding this spider Komono guys, or maybe this is kind of like a system or weapon that was being used in the past, something like that. So really exciting stuff. But let me move on to the next thing. Next, we get to see Jeremy killing a bunch of Bugnarak before he henshin into the spider Kumonos. And when he henshin, this is how he looks like. All of us already know how he looks like, so I don't want to dwell too long in here. But I honestly speaking, when we actually get to see him moving around, it looks really good. I love the design, love the I really love the helmet, love the spider logo, love the gun, love the weapon, love the concept, man. Like these spider Komonos is definitely a really amazing unit that they have added to the Sentai. Okay, but that is all from me. Hope you enjoy the trailer. If you like what you see here, you know what to do. Subscribe, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Goodbye.